My name is Boeve from Hinton High School, and this is Empowering the Iowa.
So kind of randomly, but music. So when you're getting ready for volleyball, basketball, what's your music? What's your go-to when it's game time?
This is definitely different, but I actually listen to kind of like slower music. It kind of helps me to just calm down and kind of like stay out of my head a little bit. And then I usually listen to that like on the drive over to the school. But then once we're in the locker room, me and the girls definitely listen to a lot of like pump up music, like Nicki Minaj. That's like one of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard many of those, I don't think. But, So is it the go-to? Is there a song that traditionally has been, that's the song when it's volleyball time, or does it change as the season progresses?
It kind of changes every year with like a new group. Like we start listening to like a song, and then we're like, oh yeah, that's the one that we're going to use.
Ready to roll. That's great. Tell us about your family growing up in Hinton. I mean, just kind of, you're from here originally, and family, and how that whole experience has been.
Yeah, so I'm senior here at Hinton High School. I have a brother and sister. My brother's in 7th grade. My sister's a freshman, so I'll get to play with her this year. And my family, they grew up going to Central Lyon. So that's kind of like a little rival with our family when we get to play them. But yeah, so I have a dog. I've gone here all my life. My mom teaches at the preschool, and my dad teaches over in Sioux City. So yeah, I've just always been a Blackhawk.
And your sister, is she an outside or?
She's a libero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's smaller. She's been a libero all her life. I also have 2 cousins that are freshmen this year. One's an outside, one's a setter. So we kind of have like a whole group going.
That's great. And your aunt
is the coach.
Is the coach. So is that her 2 daughters? Or?
One of them is the outside is the daughter, and then my dad's brother. Then that would be the other one.
So you got a whole family affair going here in Hinton.
We sure do.
That's great. That's great. As you're growing up, did you get involved in youth sports, elementary? Was there a lot of options, or going down to Sioux City, or how did the kind of first get involved with sports?
I think my first sport I played was coach pitch softball. So started off with that, and I played softball all the way up, I think, until my freshman year, and then I kind of gave that up. But I still love the game. I've always played basketball and volleyball. And then I started track in 7th grade, and right now I play track, or I run track, play volleyball and basketball.
And at junior high then, 7th, 8th grade at Hinton, is it 7th and 8th grade combined, or was 7th grade on its own and just 8th grade? How was that structured here?
Yeah, 7th and 8th grade is combined. And then I think like when I started, I was always like 400 runner. They threw me in some relays. I've always done hurdles, so that's been my favorite. Always in high jump. I didn't start long jump, I don't think. I think it was my freshman year. Like they're like, oh, you can do high jump. So threw me in that, and it worked out. So yeah.
Was there a time in junior high, or is it maybe later in high school when you started to say, you know what, this volleyball thing I really enjoy? Or was track kind of your favorite, or did it evolve?
At first, volleyball and basketball, like growing up, I'm like, oh, I'm going to just do both in college. But I think like when I started watching actual Division I college volleyball, that's when I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to play volleyball. And I kind of just started, I guess, focusing more on volleyball. But I still love basketball, so that'll be hard to give up this next year. But yeah.
What role models did you have? As you're growing up in Hinton, was there a high school athlete here in Hinton that when you were in maybe elementary or junior high, you're like, boy, I want to be like that someday? Or was there another role model outside of the school district that you looked up to?
Definitely my parents, just like their character. I've always just looked up to them and how they like act, I guess. I'd definitely say my biggest role model though, like when I was a freshman coming in, it would be a junior. Her name is Ashlyn Gavarna. She was our setter. She's a stud setter, but she was a stud on the court, but she was also just such a great leader, and like she helped me build my confidence coming in. I know like as freshmen, like you're kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? And then yeah, she just helped me kind of settle in, and she gave me a lot of confidence to just do what I can do. And her sets kind of made me look good. So, I mean, she definitely was a huge part of my success. So very grateful for her, and always remember like how she acted as a leader.
So as you enter into high school, and that freshman, sophomore year, multi-sport athlete, was being a multi-sport athlete something that you always knew you wanted to do? Or was it encouraged here by your parents or by the coaches? Or how did How did you decide to go down that track as you entered high school?
Yeah, I've always just been multi-sport athlete. Like I can never like sit still. Like I kind of say like, oh, I kind of need a break, but really I'm fine. Like I like to be out and doing stuff and being with my teammates. So just being a part of different teams, like we have all great coaches here. So like I never felt like I didn't want to play that sport, I guess. So yeah, I've always been a multi-sport athlete. And then like growing up, everyone kind of just preaches like multi-sport athletes. It makes you more well-rounded, I guess. So I've always just kind of stuck with it. It's fun.
And club volleyball, when did that start entering your life?
I think seventh grade. So I didn't actually go out for club. I was a little scared, but then I kind of just did lessons with, it was MVP at the time. So that's, I did lessons and then one of the girls got hurt. So one tournament, they're like, hey, can you just come and just play for this tournament? And then I just stuck with it then and I stayed on the team. So been playing that all the way up until now. Yeah, it was fun. We won a couple national championships. That was awesome. We were kind of like the same group every year. And then last year we had some seniors, so had to split up a little bit and club came independent. But yeah, it's been a fun.
And how did you balance that for, that young athlete out there that's trying to balance school ball, club world, being a multi-sport athlete? How did you balance club volleyball and school-based activities?
I definitely like made sure I was getting lots of sleep. That's a big part of it. Just taking care of my body. And then I just remembered to like have fun with it, I guess. Like used to put a lot of pressure. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss this practice, I'm gonna miss this practice. Just made sure to communicate with my coaches a lot, and then most of the time they're like, yeah, like go do your thing, it's fine. We'll get you back in the gym. But yeah, it was a big part of my coaches. Like they were very flexible with me. They all know that I love volleyball, so they're like, yeah, the club is what she wants to do. So they were all supportive in that, and yeah, just communication and then taking care of my body, I guess, big things.
So you're coming into the freshman year here at the Hinton Blackhawks. What's your mindset that first week, camp starting, you're a freshman? Did you kind of think that you were going to be getting some playing time, or were you like just totally naive to the situation?
I think I was a little naive. I knew like I could hit the ball and there's a good chance I could play, but my friends were all like, "Oh, Bailey, like, you're gonna be on varsity." I was like, "Oh, I gotta keep working for it." And then the camps, they only take varsity girls, so then they asked me to come. I was like, "Oh, okay." And then so started playing there, and then I like automatically clicked with the girls. Like I think I was so fortunate. I had the best upperclassmen. We had two seniors and then like that huge junior group when I was freshman. So they were just a lot of fun. And then I had my best friend, Carlin Gavarna. She was also in that group. So just having another freshman along there with me, that was helpful, I guess.
And how did that season go? Take us through, just kind of summarize that season.
Oh, it was fun. I don't think Hinton's been to like state like, I don't know, like 2011 or 5 or something. It was far back. So the whole season, like our mindset was just we want to make it to state. Like we have the group to do so. That's what we're gonna do. And so I remember we had a really successful season. I don't think we lost too much. Maybe. We lost very few games. So like we were like, okay, we're doing good. And then regionals hit, made it to the finals, and then we played Ridgeview, and I think we played like the best game of our lives. And like the energy was crazy, like in the gym with the fans and just like on the court. Like you could tell we were playing for each other and we had each other's backs. And it was just so much fun. Like everyone was being selfless and we just wanted to do it for the overall goal of going to state. And then I remember when we did make it to state, like everyone was crying. Like we're like, we finally did it. And I think that's a big like part to our upperclassmen again. Like they helped change the culture, and I think since then, like Hinton girls sports and sports in general have just kind of been rolling now. So
Selfless. I love that you said that. Is that something that's been a part of who you are as a player and the teams you've been a part of here?
yeah, definitely. I think a big part for me is like cheering for other girls and just remembering that it's a little bigger than the sport and it's not all about myself. It helps me be better teammate to other girls and like helps like boost their confidence, I think, in me as like a person and trusting me, and like they know that I'm not here just for the sport. Like, I'm here to be their teammate too. Yes.
And how was that first game at state? You walk into the arena. What's the thought process of you and your team that you've made it to state? Let it rip.
So that first night when we got there, we got to go practice, and I remember when we were walking in, we were just so excited. Like, I don't think any of us were nervous at the time. We got in practice, and like the energy was just there. And then the next day, then when we got onto the court, I think like when we ran out, like it was the coolest thing ever. So like IGHSE State, like I think that's the coolest thing. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's
But
great.
yeah, I definitely think there were a couple nerves just because it's so big, but I don't know. I've always just not really been nervous. I've always just been like anxious to get playing like in those moments. So I think just how we were so excited, I guess, to get going and play. Like we worked so hard all season to get to this point. Like we were just glad to be there and taking it all in.
So then volleyball finishes up, and you roll right into basketball. So much time down, or just that freshman year again? Are you thinking, hey, I'm going to get some varsity basketball, or are you still?
So we did some summer team camps, and I went and played a little bit, but I thought I was just kind of getting thrown in. I thought maybe like I would play, but I wouldn't like be a starter or anything. But then we started practicing, and I was getting more in with the girls, and it's basically the same group that we had in volleyball. So like I knew how they played and like how they were, so I wasn't really scared. But yeah, we started right away, and we got playing, and we did some scrimmages, and I was playing, and I was like, oh, here we go again. But it was so much fun. Just, it's like Hinton volleyball and basketball, like we just have great coaches, and they just make you feel confident in yourself, and they like really believe in you. So I was really excited to play. Yes.
And then track. So do you make track your freshman year?
Yes.
Or state track?
Yes, I did. I made it in high jump, long jump, 100 hurdles, and 400 hurdles. Yeah, 400 hurdles. But then at state, I didn't run the 400 hurdles because I was still high jumping. But so maybe I can do that again this year. We'll see.
Absolutely. So now, get through the freshman year. Great experience. You make state in a couple events. You get a real taste of the school-based activities here in Hinton and at the state level. Does the recruiting pick up? When did that recruiting, or was it already starting to happen coming into your freshman year?
So with volleyball, like you can't like actually communicate with the coaches. It's a little different. So like I couldn't actually start talking to them. I think it was June 10th of your sophomore summer. So like last year. So they can like invite you to camps and stuff. So I really didn't have time with softball to go to the camps, but I knew like just colleges from around here, and like we've been to team camps. So I was fortunate, like we went to Creighton, and I kind of got to meet the coaches there just through the team camp. And then like USD was like one we've always gone to, and we've had like coaches from Northwestern come in and do camps with us. So that's kind of like how I communicated with coaches, is that, and they had to like communicate through my coaches in club and high school to kind of talk to me. But yeah, definitely freshman year and sophomore year of club, I sent out emails and tried to get coaches to come watch. So it's a little stressful, but it's fun.
And how did you grow as a player between that freshman and sophomore year? You come in now the sophomore year, you've been to state, you've been a varsity athlete now in 3 sports. How did your play differ into that sophomore year?
I kind of like nitpicked like how I played. Like I saw like when I would hit, like I would watch Division One girls and then like me, and I felt like it wasn't very aggressive looking. So I really worked on loading myself and getting explosive. Like when I jumped, and I feel like I look almost, I don't know, like I want to say like scarier. Like when I hit, like more aggressive. Because like I feel like when I used to hit my freshman year, it'd almost be just like a walk up jump, and now it looks like I'm actually like going to attack the ball. So I definitely worked on that. Over the 4 years, like I've been working on like my jump serve and just figuring out what's comfortable. Really worked on that, and I really zeroed in on my serve receive. Is realize that if you can pass, you'll probably try like get on the court somehow. So.
In that year, great year, runner up. So talk us through coming to state again, your sophomore year, and the run you guys had at state that year.
So we were with that really good senior group. It was like, I think there was like 6 seniors or something like that, probably more. But they were always just like the best. So I knew like we want to get this state championship for these girls. Like we want them to be able to look through that. So we came in number 2 seed, and that was awesome. We won our first game, and then we played Grundy Center our second game. That was just so much fun. And then we came in and played Dyke Hartford, and unfortunately lost them, but they're a powerhouse. So, but it was so much fun still, and just to see how those seniors, I guess, got to experience that, and I got to experience it with them. It was awesome.
And so now you wrap up the sophomore year, coming in the summer, junior year. I'm sure you had high expectations,
Yep.
both the team and the school.
Mm-hmm.
Recruiting wise, the commitment, did that come before the season or during the season?
Came before the season, so that club year, like coaches definitely started coming in, and then I realized, so I think it's June 10th or June 15th, and that's coming up, and they can start talking to me, and then it really got a little more serious as like nationals came around. My coaches were like talking to me, they were like, okay, these are who's interested. We had coaches start coming to practice and watching, and then I was able to go to a couple camps because I wasn't in softball anymore, which was sad. But so I went to Iowa State. I loved their program. They had great coaches, great players. And then I went to Creighton, and I just absolutely fell in love with like their program, everything they're about, just their players. They're all so genuine. So I knew right away, like they offered me, and I was like, yeah, I want to come play for you guys.
So it was a pretty easy decision for you.
Yeah, it was. The hardest part I think about the recruiting process for me is like, it was really hard for me to tell people no. So you build these relationships with coaches, and you're like, thank you, but like no, thank you, and that's really hard. So that was tricky, but I got through
That says a lot about your character. That's great. That you know, relationships are obviously important. How big of a relief was it to have that decision done coming into the season?
It was awesome. I felt like I could just focus on like the season and being there for my teammates now. I definitely think that I put a little bit of extra pressure on myself at the beginning. I'm like, okay, so now like this is where I'm going. Now I need to like step up a little bit and like be that leader. So I think I could have given myself a little bit more grace coming into that, but yeah, it was definitely a relief, like not having to worry about that, and you don't have to put on like a show, so to say. You don't have to worry about that. Like the coaches know you're good. They know that how you can play, so you don't have to worry if you're making mistakes or anything.
What advice would you give to those Iowa girls that are going through that right now, that recruiting thing? You know, again, you go through it, you get caught up in the moment, you're sending emails to coaches, you're trying to get looked at, and then all of a sudden, now you're really getting recruited, and then the decision comes. But how would you help a young athlete kind of navigate that recruiting water?
I would definitely say just take it day by day and don't make it your whole life. Like you need balance. Like for me, like I made it, if I was calling people, I would schedule 2 to 3 calls a day, and that's it. And then, okay, I can call you tomorrow, but I'm done for today. And just making sure that I'm like valuing my life outside of the recruiting process, because that's like it's all going to work out at the end, so you don't have to worry so much about it. I knew that where I'm meant to be is where I'm going to go. So yeah, definitely keep your life balanced. Like don't keep your mind all in there. It's all going to work out at the end.
And how did the coaches respond to you being a multi-sport athlete?
For Creighton, definitely like I think they they loved it. It definitely makes you a more rounded athlete. Like a lot of girls, like the new big thing is to graduate early, but they know that I play basketball and I run track. And I know that's like a big part of like who I am. So there's no pressure there to graduate early or anything. They're like, go do your thing and finish out your high school year and your high school seasons. So I think like growing up, like all the coaches have been like, yeah, you're a multi-sport athlete. That's great. So there's no pressure or anything.
And has that helped you handle pressure differently in the different sports?
Yeah.
I mean, like track for some reason, I feel like everyone thinks track is the most nerve-wracking. But does that help you now in volleyball? Did that help you compete in basketball?
Yeah, I definitely think track gives me a lot of anxiety before a race or before I start. But yeah, definitely. It's just like when you're playing, you put so much pressure on yourself to like do good and to compete at the highest level, but you're not going to be perfect and you're going to make mistakes. So I just kind of realized that, and I realized like for me, like God is like a big thing for me, and I realized like it's like I ran on my shoes, audience of one, and like I'm doing it all for him, I guess, and I like the outside noise and voices and opinions, like they don't matter in the end. So that's a big thing for like helping me with my pressure. Like it's just me and God here. I'm good.
All right. So the junior year,
Mm-hmm.
you make the commitment again, coming into the season. How far into the season do we get that junior season?
I made it to my second tournament. We were playing at Sioux City East. I think we got one game in for sure. Played North, we won, and then we were playing East. And then in the second set, came down a little wrong, and then torn my ACL and my medial and lateral meniscus. Yeah.
Was it a hit? Was the set, or just take us through when it happened?
So we were rolling in the set. We were killing it. And then I usually pull back to serve receive, and then I like to run a slide behind. And then I passed it, I saw the set, and then I think I just got a little too much momentum going and got carried into the pole. And I came down, and my foot landed, and my knee got stuck on the pole, and everything just kind of shifted. And yeah,
Did you know right away?
yeah. I mean, I've had teammates, one of my teammates too. She tore her ACL that season, so I just knew like from like her pain that she had when it happened, and just like all the time that you have to wait and sit out. Like I was just like, oh, I'm done for the season. And I think just that instant shock of like, oh my goodness, it actually happened to me. It was a lot, and I was like, I just remember the whole gym just went silent. And then my coach came up and she's like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." My mom actually, she had an injury too. She was on a scooter with a boot. So my
At the same time?
yep. So she got hurt like maybe a month earlier. So my dad, he's like, oh gosh. But yeah, so got carried out. And then one of my friends, her mom, she is a PA and she actually helped do my surgery for my knee. So she was there and she contacted me. She kind of started crying. And then, yeah, I knew. And like, yeah, it was very crushing. Mm-hmm.
It's a club nobody wants to belong to,
No,
but
definitely
you come
not.
out tougher and grittier than before.
Mm-hmm.
So your mindset now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you feel like you were defined by volleyball coming into that junior year?
Mm-hmm.
And now, how did you navigate those waters those first couple days?
Yeah. So I definitely think like before I got injured, I thought like I always see myself like if I look at myself, I'm playing volleyball, I'm playing sports. Like when I'm not playing, I want to be playing, and then like when I am, like I never want to be done. So I'm like, so when it happened, I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I also think I thought to myself like because I always see myself playing sports, I almost thought I was like immune to injury, I guess. But so when it happened, it was kind of humbling. Like I'm human. Bad things are gonna happen. So I think right away I asked like, why did this happen to me? Like, what's gonna happen now? And I asked like a lot of what ifs. I played the what if game with myself. Like, what if I'm not as good as I once was? What if like I never get better? Like all those things. And then I kind of like I realized all the support that I have around me, and then like that this is just another like part of my story. I started to just kind of flip my mindset and change it to more positive. So a big thing I did was if I was ever thinking what if, I would be like, okay, but what if I get out of this stronger than I was? What if I finish the season next year state champs? What if like all these, and then the ball gets rolling, and then you're 2 months out, and I was off crutches, and then you keep going and keep going, and then you're at 4 months, and I'm finally jogging, and then you're sprinting, and then finally you're cutting and jumping. And I think just changing my mindset and realizing that it is just another part of my story. Like, I know I heard like a podcast, and I think it was Paige Becker's from UConn. She said something. She tore her ACL too. She said something like, God is not gonna always give you, or God never promised that there's not going to be a setback, but he did promise he's going to be with you every step of the way. So I think just remembering that, like when I had a bad day, like I'm not alone, like I can still get through this. And I think just remembering that and pushing through, like I was able to get through those bad days and come out stronger. And like Then when I started hitting and stuff, and I might have had like a day where I'm sore. Like even right now, I have sore calves, so I have to just keep pushing through that. And I just try to remember where I started, and then I remember where I started, and then I remember like, okay, well, look what you're doing now. So there's gonna be setbacks, but then when I overcome this, well, look where I was.
What was something that really helped you change and stay in the brain with that positive thought?
So I always remember this. This is like big thanks to my grandma. Myself, me, and my mom. We were both at home now. I just got done with surgery, and so she was at home because she couldn't walk. I was at home because I couldn't walk, so she was out there just watching us. And I had my first session of physical therapy that day, and I was crushed because I was like, oh my goodness, I can barely even bend my knee. Like I can get it maybe to like 30 degrees of bend, and then she's like having me do my PT exercises, and I just remember I was crying. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. I was having very negative thoughts, like about how this is going to turn out, and I was just like, this is gonna be terrible. And then she's like, come on, Bailey, come on, okay, I'm gonna get you some weights. You can do an arm workout. Keep doing your PT. We're fine. And then she's like, so you're gonna get through this. We got to be tough, okay? We're gonna do this. And then I just remember after that, like I was like, okay, I got this. Like she's right. I can do other things. Like I can work out my arms. Like, exercising for me, like that's like kind of my getaway. I put on some music and I just kind of do my thing. So that was hard to get away. But then she's like, nope, you're gonna work out your arms. You're gonna be fine. And then after that, I was like, okay, my grandma believes I can do it. I can do this. So that was a big thing for me that really just changed my mindset.
And how is that communication with Creighton?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure at some point that happens, and now, okay.
I mean, I honestly, like, I just had so much, like trust in them, and, like, I just valued, like, their values. Like, I think they would want me more for a person than an athlete. So at first, like, I was not nervous, but then I heard rumors, like, from other people. They're like, oh, she got her scholarship taken away and all this, like, from, I didn't even know. I was like, way too funny to be worrying about that. And then they're like, hey, can we call you? Like, we just want to talk to you, see how everything's happening. And, like, once they called me, like, I'm like, okay, I made the right choice, because they were just so understanding. They believed, like, if anyone's going to do this, it's going to be me. And then they were just, yeah, they were very supportive. And they're like, we still want you, obviously. And they're like, we're thinking you're going to come back even better out of this. And then just hearing that just helped me also get, like, more determined. Like, yeah, I am going to come out better than what I was. So.
And you learn to lead a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the next time I saw you was at state basketball.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it, your energy and what you were doing. Tell us how that came about. How bad? I mean, volleyball gets done, obviously the season wraps up, and now basketball comes into play. Mm-hmm. Was there any hesitation going out for basketball, or did you know right away that I'm still going to play a role in this team?
I knew right away I was going to play a role. Like, even for track, I'm like, I'm going to be there. Like, volleyball, I think I took over more on the coaching side, just because I know a lot about volleyball, and I was just always, like, on the court, like, I'm like, you got a line open, you have this. So, like, being from the sidelines, I think I was able to help with that. And then for basketball, I mean, I still know a lot about basketball, but, like, I'm not, like, I don't know everything, obviously. I don't know everything about volleyball either, but, so I think I took more as, like, the manager role, and the girls like to call me mom. So took the mom role. I was always braiding hair. We had, like, a fun little TikTok account, so I would be in charge of running that. And just, like, the girls, like, they were a big part of why the season, like, went so well, I think, especially for me. Like, sitting on the sidelines, I remember the first practice, I was like, it's always your first when you're injured, like, so that first practice was a little hard for me, but they were there, making me smile. Like, there'd be some days where I wouldn't want to, like, go to practice and sit through it, but then when I get there, I'd be so glad that I did, just because the girls were so awesome. So, like, just seeing how they were to me, I just wanted them to be as successful as they were. So I figured I should put in as much energy and stuff that they're putting into me, into them. So, yeah, I just had to kind of sit back and accept my role and just be there in a different way. So that was the mom role. But yeah, then we made it down to state, and I'm so proud of them. They succeeded in every way that I wanted them to. So very proud of them.
That word selflessness again. Mm-hmm. And when you think about, you are just as much motivation to them, I'm sure too, as they see you going through your PT and you see working. And a lot of times teams, okay, I'm not going to have a pity party for myself because I see what Bailey's going through over here. And so that inspiration you brought to the team and just the role you played, like I said, your energy at state basketball is awesome. And seeing you guys win that was great. And so you serve a kind of similar role than with track.
Yep. So at track, again, like a little manager, it's definitely the hair braider for track. I would braid in hair like no other on the bus, but it was fun. I loved it. Then I would just be there cheering on the girls each meet. It was a little hard because you see everyone else that you might have competed against before, getting all this success, and you're like, oh, this could have been me. So it was a little hard, but definitely during track season, I was able to kind of step back and really focus on myself too. I was able to start lifting more. I got cleared to sprint and stuff. So me and my other friend who tore her ACL, we'd be at the track running. And I remember the first time I did it, a 10-meter fly at track practice. It was so awesome. And they're it's the same girls from each sport that are kind of going to everything at Hinton. So I was with the same girls basically, and they're just all so supportive. Everyone's like, "Oh, Bailey, you would have crushed it." They just have so much belief in me, which that really helps me believe in myself, I guess.
When did you get cleared then to start getting after it again?
So we kind of had a timeline. So with meniscus, you're on crutches for 2 months or 8 weeks. So I think it was late November, early December, I got cleared to just walk. So I was walking in my knee brace all through January. And I think February 11th, I got cleared to jog. So then February 11th to March 11th, and I'm cleared to sprint. And then April 11th, I was cleared to jump and cut. So that was really exciting because then I was able to start hitting. And then once you start doing that, then I think I did PT up until 8 months. I love my physical therapist. She was great. So I did PT up until 8 months, and then we went down to nationals for volleyball, came back. And then at that point, I was basically cleared to do mostly everything except compete. So we would have our open gyms and stuff. I could do all the drills. So I really focused on my serve and serve receive and just making sure my form is good and all that stuff. So then April 11th, or not April 11th, sorry, August 11th, that was the clear date. So I think I went in about a week before that date and I saw them and then they cleared me totally. And then August 11th was go time. So it's been really fun so far. Just to be back and competing and with the girls actually on the court. I missed it 100%.
You have a whole new perspective of it.
Yeah, 100%. I think even now, before, if I was tired, I would just be oh, I kind of go through emotions. But now I'm okay, if I'm doing a hard workout, I'd be look where you were. You're fine. You got this. Keep pushing. So I think it's made me a little more determined. I don't know if that's the word, but determined to just win, and just compete. And I didn't get to do that for so long. I think it was 10 months I was out. So you get doing drills and stuff. It's fun to be back in, but you miss that competitive side. So, and just to be with the girls, I think sitting so long, I never thought I would learn so much. I can just read the court so much better, I feel and hitters where they're going. And I think I've just become more of a vocal leader. So that's been a huge help. And then just being a senior, you are the top. So, and then you have all these freshmen coming in. They're great players. So you just have to want to make them feel like they fit in. And then at the same time, you just got to remember where you started. So a big thing that I'm doing this season is giving myself grace. Make sure I'm recovering correctly, stretching and all that stuff. But
new routine.
Yeah, new routine, 100%. But yeah, I definitely am trying to give myself more grace. I haven't been at this for 10 months. It's okay if I make mistakes. It's okay. You're going to get back. It's going to be okay. Yeah.
And your definition of tough is the toughest thing you've had to endure. So you've definitely tough kid.
Thank you.
How's the season looking? We're rolling now. You're into practice. How you guys looking?
I think we look pretty good. So, like I said, we have really strong freshman class. Our motto this year is iron sharpens iron, just because we have about 30 girls in the gym, and everyone is just top level. Like they're like the energy wise and just like mental toughness wise and physically. Like they're so strong. Like you can put anyone anywhere. Everyone's so versatile. So practices have just been a blast. There's lots of energy. Our coach Kate and Coach Moore, they can put us anywhere and we'll be fine. So that side, just like getting better in practice, like it's been a blast to get back into. And then we've been in a couple scrimmages and stuff so far, and I think they've gone really well. Like just the way we're talking with each other, and we've already kind of getting like a flow going. And I'm really excited to see what happens this season. I think we can go all the way and win it, and I think a lot of girls also believe that. It's just a matter of taking it day by day and just not trying to jump towards that, like take each game and each tournament. That's a big thing too.
Every moment.
Every moment.
Was strength and conditioning something that, this is kind of going back a little bit, but was that something that's been important in your career and in Hinton, or is that something that more since the injury that you've kind of learned through that?
A little bit of both. I would say, like when I was younger, I remember I would like watch like the Division 1 girls. I'm like, oh, they're tall, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna need to get like a jump going. So I remember I made like some little jumping workout. I would go outside. This was like during COVID, and I would just do this jumping workout outside all the time. And then, and I think it was either 7th or 8th grade. That's when like high school wants you to start coming and lifting with them. And I really made sure that I was focusing and not just going through those motions. And like, okay, this is gonna make me a better athlete. So I kind of fell in love with like lifting and like working out. It's like pushing yourself past like your limits, and like we have really great strength and conditioning coaches. I mean, our football coach, he's awesome. He comes and helps with that, and he's always like hyping us up, trying to push us like through weight and stuff. And he's really good with teaching us proper form and stuff like that. But yeah, so since I've been injured, like my physical therapist, she's great. Like she knows great exercises and stuff, but there's only so much you can do in a PT clinic. So once I hit, I think it was 7 months or 6 or 7 months in like May, I think I started with a personal trainer in Sioux City. Her name is Laura. She's awesome. I think a big part of my success and how I've been able to come back so much stronger is because of her. Like she's pushed me like with weight. Like definitely before I definitely compensated and favored this leg over my bad leg. So I was a little worried with that coming into the season, but then she got me to even out my weight on both sides, and I was doing weight that I never thought I could be able to do. Like not even before I was injured. So just that has given me a lot of confidence. She's helped me with like plyometrics and then just building my quad muscles, like the big thing you lose when you hurt your knee. So just building that back up as well as like just working on like your gait and like all your mechanics and flexibility. Like she's just trying to make me all well rounded. So big thanks to her because I think that's a big part of like my success coming back. So yeah, I'm then definitely coming in now. I'm going to keep strengthening and conditioning because it's just so important and it helps with injuries and then just staying, I think, fresh for your games and practices. Mm-hmm.
Has your journey, your experience, has this had an impact on what you want to major in at Creighton?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely I got to help coach like my sister's team because they were just 8th graders. So I got to help coach with that. I've gotten to help coach. So if I ever got the opportunity, coaching would definitely be something I would really love to do. Also physical therapy, like I just know I've always been kind of obsessed with like biology, and I'm taking anatomy this year. I've kind of just been obsessed with like that type of stuff. So it's already been something I've kind of looked into, but then just getting to be with my physical therapist name was Megan, just being with Megan, and then just seeing how she pushed me. She had no mercy. She's like if I needed to get something massaged out or something, she'd be like, "You're okay. Like just gotta breathe, push through it." But just like the way that she motivated me and got me to be better, like I want to do that for other people. If someone comes in and they tear their ACL, and I can relate with them, and I can be there for them and just be like their friend, so to say, I guess. But yeah, I definitely think physical therapy is something I want to do.
Basketball track, is that something you want to continue after volleyball? But I don't want to put you on the spot if you're like, I don't know yet, or.
Oh yeah, 100%. I want to do that. Most of the team is still returning, so there's a big chance we could get back, and I want to play on that state floor for basketball. That's something that's always been one of my goals, is to make it to state and play at state for every sport that I play. So definitely want to be back for that. And then track, I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish still with that too. So yeah, my goal and everything, that's what I want to do. So.
There's that competitive streak again.
Yeah.
Coming through. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to just the last couple.
Okay.
Here. Nice and easy for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give young athletes? What advice would you give yourself if you could go back when you were 7th, 8th grade? What advice?
I would just say mostly just take it all in. You're only here for 4 years in high school, so take every moment and make the most of them. I'd also say, like I said now, give yourself grace. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be things that aren't going to go your way, so you just have to kind of take it with a grain of salt and just keep pushing and find ways to be a great teammate. Whether that's just, if you're a bench player, just giving it all you got on the bench and giving energy for your court. Whether you're on the court and you are you're the starter, just be humble. Just, I don't know. I would just say to accept your role and just to make the most of every moment.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of sports? When it's time for Bailey to be like, all right, I need to wind down a little bit.
Well, in the summer we have a pool, so I love to go swimming. I like to go boating a lot with my family, spend time with my friends. We love to go for ice cream runs and stuff like that. So I like to do all that stuff. I'm actually a big reader. I love to read. Basically that. Spend time with friends and family.
And do you think, have you learned, does that help you balance? Mm-hmm. Having some downtime, reading, just to change the focus? Yeah, definitely. I think when you're always go, 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 it's good to just take a break and sit back and just relax and kind of calm your thoughts, calm your head, stuff like that. We talk a lot in our office about the Iowa Girl. Mm-hmm. Empowering the Iowa Girl today to lead tomorrow. Hashtag Iowa Girl. You'll see it at all of our tournaments. What does it mean to be an Iowa Girl? I think to me is when you're a competitor, it's easy to look scary, I guess. I think being an Iowa Girl to me, though, is just having good character, being hardworking, being tough and strong, and just overall just being kind. I think you can be the best athlete in the world, but if you don't have good character, your talent can kind of just get overlooked. So I think just having good character. Accountability, I think to me, is holding your teammates to play at their highest level as well as yourself, holding yourself accountable to always be working hard and to always give your best. Communication, to me, is making sure you are talking to your teammates and your coaches, as well as teachers and family members, and just understanding what their needs are, especially with your teammates, figuring out what their needs are so you can be the best for them on the court. And also for your teachers and coaches, communicating back and forth, where you're at and where you're going to be. Leadership to me is setting an example for younger athletes as well as your peers, and always doing the best and doing what's right when no one's watching. Parents, my parents are the most supportive people in the world. They're always trying to do what's best for me and giving me all the opportunities so I can do what I do and be the best of my abilities. Resilience to me is being gritty, being tough. You're going to go through things that you don't want to do, or you're going to hear things you don't want to hear, but it's how you push through that and come out stronger in the end. Culture to me is having something that's bigger than yourself. Our school, we have a great culture where everyone is all in for the success of everybody else. Teamwork to me is building each other up and working together to achieve something that is bigger than yourself. Work ethic to me is just working hard when no one is watching and putting in 100% effort at all time, no matter what you're doing or who you're doing it with. If you'd like to check out more Empowering the Iowa Girl interviews, go ahead and click here for our playlist. If you'd like to see the recent interviews we've completed, go ahead and click here. And finally, if you'd like to subscribe to catch all of our interviews when they come out on the informational superhighway, click here.